Hello, gossipers. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're listening. It's Gossip in the Dark. So today's January 17th, 2026. And Michael Jackson, again, his name is being brought up by alleged victims who were kids at the time, now grown ass adults, wanted millions from his estate. Now, Michael Jackson has been dead now for 16 years. Yes, 16 years. You know how time flies. A question, gossipers: where were you when you heard that Michael Jackson died? I remember I was at work, and it comes the phone blowing up, everything like that. You're on your computer filing documents, because I filing documents, and here it comes up on the screen, and you're trying to get rid of everything because TMZ people, ABC, everybody's just tinging, to let you know. And I remember I was just in shock. I'm like, I was one of those people like, Michael Jackson can never die. I know people go there with some people. Yes, you see this person as someone who will never die. I personally don't believe the allegations made against Michael Jackson. Remember, the FBI, they did what, like a 10-year investigation on Michael Jackson about these assaults, or a specific assault, and they came up with nothing. There was nothing there. To the point where this man was degraded because they had to show him his penis, right? And so we're gonna go in this article, but yeah. So I remember getting home from work, and my mom, she wasn't crying, but you could see, tears in her eyes, and she's like, "Oh my God, Michael is dead." And remember, we sat down and we watched the show, and just CNN going back and forth with different stations, because the death of Michael Jackson was like a worldwide thing. They cut into regular TV programming just to show the story on Michael Jackson. And I think on that same day too, Farrah Fawcett had died, but because it was the King of Pop, no one was even mentioning Farrah until a day later or so. Then she was, but it went on for like weeks where they were just talking about Michael Jackson, his accomplishments, everything. From previous video, I said the only people I'd go to see in concert is Bruno Mars and Ed Sheeran. But if Michael Jackson was still alive, definitely I would go see Michael Jackson. My favorite Michael Jackson song is old school 80s, Rock With You. I wanna rock with you all night, dance you in sunrise. Yeah, that's my favorite Michael Jackson song. And I also love Smooth Criminal. So, those are my two top. And then, he was a humanitarian. He was all over the world making music, a man in the mirror, just positive music that the world, the universe, I should say, could relate to it. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. Just unbelievable. So we're gonna get into this article now. These are accusers who are saying as a young child Michael did all this. Now these are grown ass people, grown ass adults, and Michael is not here to defend himself again, but because his estate is making so much money. A lot of these celebrities, when they die, their estate, their stocks, whatever they have, plummet, right? Not plummet. Rise above. Go to amounts that are unbelievable, and they're not here to see what reward or money they're making. So because Michael is still making money after death, because people are performing as Michael. You go to Las Vegas, you see shows around the country they have their Michael Jackson impersonators. So he's still making money, and because the money is going towards the estate, then people are like, I can still sue and get money. Might not be able to get it from the man himself, but definitely from his estate, because he's raking in all these money. So it says Michael Jackson accusers in six-figure fight with Star's estate. Siblings who claim Michael Jackson sexually abused them for decades before his death are now in fighting against an arbitration agreement to keep their testimony out of open court. Now, why you want all this money and you won't let the world know, or social media know why? It's because you want the money. This man is dead. And do you have believers in them? Of course you do. But I think majority of the people, they don't believe them. And remember, this man was proven innocent in court. But yet still, with civil and stuff like that, and people pushing, these are people who are still able to come and make claims. So it says siblings who claim Michael Jackson sexually abused them as children are fighting against an arbitration agreement, an effort the musician estate says amounts to a multi-million-dollar extortion plot. Frank Casillo and his four siblings claim the Thriller singer groomed, brainwashed, and sexually molested them for decades, from 1989 until his death in 2009. Are they saying that Michael Jackson was still trying to do something up until his death? Because it says, and sexually molested them for decades from 1989 until his death in 2009. I as I said, I don't believe that. The Casillos allege that after the release of the 2019 docuseries Leaving Neverland, they shared their experiences with each other for the first time, leading to negotiations with the Michael Jackson estate that the latter has characterized as a $213 million shakedown. So the estate is saying it's a shakedown. After a 2020 settlement agreement mandated confidential arbitration or a private binding trial outside of the public court system, the estate, represented by attorney Marty Singer, filed a petition to compel arbitration in July. In October, the Casillos legal team filed a motion in opposition, claiming the siblings were pressured into signing without legal representation. Okay, so they're saying in 2020, these siblings, they signed a settlement agreement. And now their lawyers saying they didn't have representation, so that should count for nothing. These were adults. This was what, 6 years ago? Call it 5 years ago, because we're in January. Early, the year just started. So, in 2025, they took money, signed something, but now because they have an attorney and the attorney's like, you didn't do, when you're going into situations like that, especially with that size of money, don't you think you would have an attorney around? Okay, the Casillo siblings' attorney, Mark Garagos, claimed the arbitration agreement is unenforceable because it included illegal non-disclosure provisions used to conceal childhood sexual abuse. The sibling also claimed the estate made the agreement null by filing public petitions and divulging confidential information in open court. The siblings appeared in court this week, according to TMZ and Rolling Stone, with one sibling appearing to be in tears. Garagos explained the siblings' appearance at the Wednesday, January 4th hearing in a statement to USA Today. So let's see what Mark has to say. So he said the family traveled to court to see for themselves Mr. Singer and Mr. Branca on behalf of the estate, called them liars just 5 years after Mr. Branca paid the Casillo family in a secret deal because he believed they were truth tellers, the attorney wrote. So yes, 5 years ago he paid them money. It doesn't mean that he believed them, because Mark is saying he believed that's why he paid. No, he paid because he wants this to go away. And it's not going anywhere. These people will never let it go. And to see them coming up now wanting more money, right? Because they were told you signed this, probably they're saying under duress too. Like, yeah, they didn't know. No, they knew exactly what they were doing. The judge in the case made a tentative ruling in favor of the estate before Wednesday's hearing, saying the court was poised to compel arbitration, according to Rolling Stone. In court, Geragos said he felt passionately that the ruling is wrong on the law and on the trend in the legislature, the outlet reported. In declaration filings, the siblings, including Frank Casillo, Aldo Casillo, and Marie Nicole Porte, recalled hundreds of instances of Jackson's alleged abuse, including intimate contact with them while staying at his home or traveling overseas with him. The siblings said the pop star made each children believe they were uniquely special to him. In one incident in Las Vegas, the latter two siblings remembered being told to hide and remain silent in a hotel room when Geragos, who cautiously represented Michael Jackson in his 2003 child molestation case, would meet with the bad singer. Yet Frank Casillo, who claimed he was under Jackson's spell during the trial, publicly defended the singer, once telling Court TV at the time, "I wouldn't be here if I thought that man was a pedophile." Howard King, another of the siblings' attorney, said he has 10 hours of sworn testimony from the five siblings detailing Jackson's horrific abuse. TMZ and Rolling Stone report. The attorney said he showed portions of the testimony to Singer, who King said replied, "You're going to resolve this. That video will never see the day of light. Make me an offer." See, stuff like that gets to me. How long has this been going on for Michael Jackson now? And not one video came out showing Michael doing anything illegal to those kids. And here we have this attorney, Howard King, talking about they have 10 hours of sworn testimony. Sworn testimony of who? The kids giving their details? That's not proof. We need to see physical proof. That's what I don't get, is that year after year they can come and sue for more money because of the estate, but yet still they're claiming they're sitting on all these proof and nothing is being brought to social media. We're left in the dark. We need to see the evidence. This man was cleared. We need to see the evidence. Now we're going to go ahead and play the video from the attorney and what he has to say.
When I was retained by the Casillo family, the first thing I did was have each of the five siblings give me sworn testimony on video. I ended up with 10 hours of testimony detailing the horrific abuse they suffered at the hands of Michael Jackson. At the invitation of Marty Singer, the lawyer for the estate, I showed him an hour of that video, and his response was, "This will never see the light of day. We're going to resolve this. Make me an offer." I made an offer, and instead of him honoring his word, he took that and went public and accused me of extortion as a defense to addressing the actual crimes that were committed.
Are you planning to make any of these videos or these recordings public?
Well, I think I would rather use these videos, if necessary, with either the arbitrator or the court, depending on where this case proceeds.
Understood. Are you planning to submit it to the court anytime soon?
No time soon. Probably in connection with an actual hearing whenever it happens.
Understood. And the Casillo family, they signed an agreement in 2020. When were these recordings taken?
2024.
2024. Understood.
By the way, the recordings were taken in 2024 after a lawyer for the estate said that they should go back to the estate and address what they got and what they should have gotten back in 2020.
So you heard what he said. He has 10 hours of confession or interview with the alleged accusers, and he's not going to release it, because of whatever. But again, we need to see the physical proof. People can say anything, but we need to see a physical proof. That's their story. Michael is his. He's not here to defend himself. The estate is growing with money because people are still buying, supporting Michael when he's no longer here. But again, for those 10 hours, why don't you release them? Everything is social media now, right? Social media, people come to get their verdict from the court of public opinion, because they know that public opinion, even though it's not cemented as a verdict or anything like that, but court of public opinion, can they sway judges or jurors? I know people were asking questions like that when it was Diddy, but probably not. But just the court of public opinion alone can get you yourself taken down. But anyways, it's their story to tell, but the constant bringing up, and to see that in 2020 they were offered money, and because they didn't have an attorney to look over, now you're coming back to say, did they spend all that money already? You have people like Macaulay Culkin and Corey Haim. Shoot, not Corey Haim. God bless Corey Haim. He's no longer here. Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman is like a carbon copy of Michael Jackson. Those two celebrities said Michael did nothing to them. And people might say, well, they're celebrities, they're not gonna diss that. No, Michael is dead. But still, because celebrities now, they have balls. They're coming out and speaking on people that have done them wrong, canceled or not. You have celebrities now who are coming out naming names of people who wronged them in whatever, capacity or manner or what you want to call it. Some of them are brave enough to come out and tell what happened to them against, these celebrities. But yeah, gossipers, what are your thoughts? Again, we need to see the physical evidence. 10 years they investigated this man and they found nothing. Did he settle some of the cases? Of course, because going to trial alone is stressful on you. People are like, well, I'd rather go to trial and be stressful than having to settle something I know I didn't do. Everybody does it differently. Gossipers, what are your thoughts? Please like, share, subscribe. Another money grab. As long as Michael's estate is making money, people are going to make up stories allegedly and come forward. Your thoughts?